Hey y'all, I'm Leah Lawrence.
And I'm her husband, Mitch Lawrence.
And you are listening to the Southern Spirits Podcast, where I regale my husband with Southern stories of the macabre, creepy, and strange.
And I drink.
And what are we drinking tonight, Mitchell?
Our beer tonight is Flowing Well Gose, brewed by Pretoria Fields in Albany, Georgia. 4.5% alcohol by volume. Let's read the can. Subtly sour German-style ale with sea salt and toasted coriander. End quote. And I just want to say, I'm fine with coriander, but if there was cilantro in this fucker, we would have a problem. And I know they're basically the same thing, but have a problem with cilantro and not coriander. What I have to say about the beer, it has an initial sour and then a really smooth finish. It's just really easy to drink. Nothing really outstanding about it, though, wouldn't you say, Leah? It's just good, right?
I like it a lot. It's very, it reminds me a little bit of a sour, but not so sour that I could call it a sour.
Right.
And then
it's a Gose.
Yeah, it's very herbaceous, and it's got a lot of that, kind of fun little spice kick at the end. I like it.
I do too. It is really good. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It's just an excellent beer that anyone that likes something light and fruity and crisp should try.
At first, I really did think it was like a more of a dry cider, and then I realized what it was. It was a Gose. So if you're sort of into that kind of dry cider kind of thing, that's pretty close. It's really good.
It is. I enjoy it a lot. Our shot in the dark for the night, we just went and bought some liquor, y'all. We got new stuff. We're drinking Jim Beam Peach, made and bottled by James B. Beam Distilling Company in Frankfort, Kentucky. 32.5% alcohol by volume. Let's read the bottle. And they have a long section here, Leah, so you just relax for a minute, okay? Jim Beam Peach contains all the pride of the Beam family's 220-year history with a refreshing take on family tradition. Our distillers have infused rich, flavorful peach liqueur with fine Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. The perfect what? The perfect Mitch? That can't be it, right, Leah?
Nope.
The perfect mix of peach and bourbon with hints of oak. Enjoy straight or mix with soda or tea. End quote. And had a little problem there, but made it through. What I have to say about this product is what we've noticed from doing the show, at least I have, is that you can't really miss with peach whiskey. It's just good. It goes well with anything. It's nice. It's so sweet that it often overpowers anything bad in it. Now on ice, this is not great. It is smooth, but it's not great by itself, but there's no harsh whiskey bite on the back end. Got an 8 out of 10 on ice. But the kicker, and as we all know, we love mixing shit with ginger ale, 9.5 out of 10 with ginger ale, because it's just really good. Who doesn't love some peach and ginger ale, right?
I'm a big ginger peach fan, so...
There you go. So this gets an 8.75 out of 10 overall. And that's it for the alcohols, Leah. But I do want to address something really quick. If you've been listening to us for a while, you'll know that when we first started the show, we realized that everything is made in Kentucky. And we went liquor shopping today, and I got to tell you right now, this is our 122nd main episode release, and we are entering the phase that I like to call Kentucky. It's just the Kentucky phase, because, we bought 8 bottles of liquor today, and I think at least 6 of them are from Kentucky.
Yeah.
So
all the good stuff, all the real bad stuff,
yep.
Everything's made in Frankfort or Bardstown, Kentucky, for the most part.
And we got a bunch of shit out of Kentucky, and you'll see soon.
Yeah.
What's happening here. But hey, if Kentucky keeps us going, we're fine. But we just may eventually get to a point, like we talked about, beer is fucking everywhere, but liquor in the South is a little bit harder to come by. We may get to a point where we're just rebuying bottles, or we buy every flavor of Jim Beam or every flavor of Jack Daniels, and that's just what we're doing.
Yeah.
But we are entering the Kentucky phase. So
and there's
enjoy.
A lot of bourbon, and I'm not a huge fan, so...
The thing is, a lot of vodka is made there, too.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of vodka.
Seriously, a lot of everything.
Yeah.
Like I said, stuff that you wouldn't even think is made there. Like all the 99 brand stuff is made there.
Those are coming up.
Like I said, lots of just really bottom shelf bullshit, terrible, and then lots of very expensive, fancy bourbons and that kind of stuff. A lot of liquor is made in Kentucky, so
Yep.
Welcome to the Kentucky phase.
It's a good thing that we involved Kentucky in the Southeast because they're about to keep this show afloat in liquor.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's it, Leah. That's it. What do you have for us?
We have a brand new patron. Yay!
Yay! Hold on, I can't reach the soundboard. Yay! I hit it twice again. God, this thing just sucks, doesn't it? Hold on. Let's gong you, and let's do a real long one. Drink it in. Yep. Not done. All right. Welcome, new patron.
Welcome to Chris. Welcome to the Possum Passel. We are so happy to have you. Yay!
Thanks for stopping in, Chris.
Thank you so much. So, Chris is can you calm down? Chris is donating to our podcast every month through Patreon, and we appreciate it so much. Every single penny that y'all give us goes directly to keeping our podcast afloat in liquor, beer, keeps our servers up and running, helps provide, equipment upgrades when we need them.
Chris, your money is going to the finest Kentucky liquors.
We appreciate everything so very much. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are wonderful. You're the reason that we're able to keep this going without going broke. We super duper appreciate it. Thank you so much to every single one of our patrons, and specifically to our new one, Chris. Thank you very much. And if anybody else wants to join the Possum Passel, you are more than welcome to do so at patreon.com/Southern Spirits Podcast.
Yay. You got it right.
I did. Sometimes I get things right on the first go.
Yep.
Most of the times I don't, but first time for everything.
So far, you're doing an excellent job.
Well, thank you very much, good sir. All right. Well, we also have something pretty exciting.
What?
A postcard. Yay!
Oh, listener mail.
Listener mail.
I haven't gotten that in a while.
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So we actually checked our post office box for the first time in quite some time.
When is that date stamped? Do we know?
I can't read it.
Okay.
The postmark kind of got all fucked up. So anyway, regardless, it's coming all the way from Arkansas.
Yay.
So we are reading a postcard from Bonnie. Let's see. It says, "Hi, Leah and Mitch!" !
Hello.
Recently, I took a day trip to Hot Springs, Arkansas, which is always a treat. The bathhouses are across the street from a delightful row of shops, and behind them is a fantastic mountain full of hiking trails! The National Park preserves one of the bathhouses as a museum, and the other one has been turned into a brewery and restaurant that makes their beer with the hot spring water.
Oh, yes, please.
Do
they do any seltzer? Do they do any hard hot spring seltzer?
Gross.
I fucking love hard seltzer.
Maybe.
I have become a basic bitch.
You were always a basic bitch, sweetheart.
I'm sorry.
Brackets. I'm not a beer person, but the root beer is primo. End brackets.
Man, I would have that.
Also, the Arlington Hotel is haunted and beautiful. Cheers, Bonnie from Arkansas.
Cheers.
P.S. My local liquor store now has Old Smoky Moonshine, and I am hype.
Yeah, well, I hope they get pickles because ours in Hartselle had pickles today.
We just had pickles today.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. I hope that you get some pickles up there in Arkansas.
Spread the delicious moonshine pickle love.
Again, it's not the best thing they have, but the novelty of it is just wonderful. And it's
I
so
just
good.
enjoy it. It's fun.
Yeah, they're still really good. Don't get me wrong. It's not the best thing they have, though.
And if I like cherries,
so
I would probably try the cherries too, but I don't like cherries.
I want to try the cherries. I want to try the peach. It's like when you walk in a bar and you see like deviled eggs sitting in brine. Like that's what the peach and cherries look like, and I want to try them so bad. You know what I mean?
Bad, correlation, because that sounds
disgusting. It is,
disgusting.
though. Like pig's feet,
Ugh.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's just preserved fruit is what it looks like.
Preserved in moonshine.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. And I want to try them, but, we've tried them, but we haven't ever bought them. And we should. But, anyway.
We bought the pickles.
Go ahead, Leah.
Whatever. Anyway, are you ready for a sassy Southern saying?
I sure am. Which one are you reusing this week?
We're not reusing anything. I actually got one, and I Googled our Google Drive to make sure I hadn't actually already used it this time.
All right. I'm proud of you.
You're welcome.
I have to do that with beer every time we go beer shopping.
Yeah. So this one is, quote, "He's got enough money to burn a wet mule."
Oh, my God. No idea. So is a wet mule like a prized mule? Does that mean that you'll bathe it, so therefore it's worth more money? Or no, it's worth more money, so you'll bathe it and make sure it's shiny for when the mule people come around to look at your mule? I will pay you 1 shilling to have a look at your clean mule, sir. If it's a dirty mule, you get 1/4 of a shilling. I don't know what 1/4 of a shilling is. A pittance? Is that it? What? Am I right?
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, bless your heart. No. So he's got enough money to burn a wet mule just means that he has enough cash that you could use that pile of cash to light a wet mule on fire. And obviously,
so it would take
mules
a lot
are
more.
like
Okay.
1,000 pounds. And
I'll be
if
honest.
it's wet, it's going to be harder to burn.
I'll be honest. I like my explanation way more this time, because if you have so much money that you're just going to light it on fire to kill a mule.
Not to kill a mule, to burn a wet mule.
Oh, you just want to make it hurt a little bit.
I think it was dead already.
Well, then why is it wet?
Drowned.
What the fuck is this? No. It's about keeping your mule clean so
It's
that
not.
people can come see your clean mule.
Anyway, so that phrase got actually pretty national attention because the Louisiana governor, Huey Long, back in the day was trying to pass like a tax on like oil and gas companies.
Mm-hmm.
And Standard Oil was not thrilled about it. So they were basically bribing state legislatures $25,000 apiece to vote to kick him out of office.
Unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, right. And so he said that they were giving him enough money to burn a dead mule to kick him out of office. Anyway, that's sort of where that phrase got popular. And
So all these
national
gas and oil
attention.
people have mule cleaning money?
Mule burning money.
Mm-hmm. Again, I think I like mine way more because it's more wholesome. It's more family friendly. Yeah, it just makes sense. You want
Less destructive to the mule as well.
like if we had more money, I would pay to get our dogs washed instead of fucking doing it myself. I'm just saying. God damn.
Oh, definitely. I want to build like a house that has one of those dog washing stations in
Yeah.
it that has that like sort of like a short shower stall for a dog.
Mm-hmm.
That
I
would
agree.
be like, some people are like planning their dream homes with like luxury, like just items. And I'm over here going, I want to have a dog wash.
Yeah. We need a big bathtub. We need a big kitchen, and we need a dog tub. That's it. Dream home accomplished. Oh, and I want to do like not necessarily a movie theater, but like
A media room.
a media room with like a big screen, maybe a projector, projector. There we go. I'm having trouble tonight. Maybe a projector screen, but like all the video games we'll go through it. All the movies, everything that we want to watch will be just in this dark room. You can turn everything off and just be in there in the dark. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
There you go. Good. All right, so there's those 4 things, y'all. We need more patrons
Yeah.
because I would like some money to go into the house fund instead of the Kentucky Liquor Fund. But,
Sorry,
you know,
babe.
Yeah, you know.
You can't mix business and liquor?
We'll
What?
make it. No, you
No,
can't. No.
the business is the liquor.
There you go.
I'm confused.
The liquor is the business. You know.
My point is we have money to put into the business, not into our own personal
I agree.
dog shower.
But that's the problem, you see.
We need dog shower money.
Yes.
Anyway, that's weird.
From now on, we will call it mule cleaning money. Any luxury money is called mule cleaning money for the rest of time.
Nobody's gonna understand us, but it's
I don't
fun.
give a fuck. People don't understand us right now.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
All right. Well, would you like to get people slightly more interested in the programming that they signed up for?
Honestly, don't fucking care. All I'm thinking about is cleaning a mule.
That sounds dirty.
Yeah.
So we are going to go ahead and go into our very first story of the evening, and we are going to be talking about St. Simon's Lighthouse
Okay.
in St. Simon's Island, Georgia.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
There is. So the first lighthouse that was built in St. Simon's Island. That's harder to say than you think.
You're doing great, though.
It was built in 1810 by a man named James Gould. And it was, a nice lighthouse. It was a good lighthouse. But then the Civil War happened, and the Confederates were fleeing that area very swiftly when, Sherman marched to the sea, etc. And so they decided, instead of allowing Union troops to capture it and use the lighthouse, that they were going to blow the fucker up. So it was a 75-foot high lighthouse, and they blew it up once again to keep the Union Army from using it. So after the Civil War was over, the port in that area was really booming because of a timber trade. There was lots of wood to sell, and it was just a timber boom in that area.
In Georgia?
So, yes.
They have a forest over there, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
They have a few.
Mystery solved.
So they decided that it would probably be beneficial to have a lighthouse in that area, because obviously it's sort of like barrier islands and stuff like that can be a problem for shipping and all of that. So they decided it would be a great idea to rebuild the lighthouse. So, shot in the dark.
So quick today. Also, that's what she said.
How tall is the current lighthouse that stands on St. Simon's Island?
The one they rebuilt. Do you know how tall the first one was?
75 feet.
Okay, you said that, didn't you?
I did.
All right.
So, is the current lighthouse A, 84 feet tall, B, 94 feet tall, or C, 104 feet tall?
This is a good one, Leah. This is a good one. I'm going to go with 94.
And you are incorrect.
God damn it.
It is 104 feet tall.
I never would have thought it would have been over a hundo.
It was over a hundo.
Can't believe they went triple digits on the lighthouse.
Triple D.
You need to calm the fuck down, ma'am. All right, I'm going to try this shot. You go ahead.
Okay.
You never need to wait for me to say that to continue the story, okay?
Okay. All right, well, the lighthouse, the new one, was designed by a man named Orlando Poe, who was a former officer under General William Tecumseh Sherman during the whole siege of Atlanta situation.
Okay.
And he built this...
That's really good, by the way, the shot.
He designed the lighthouse, and then it was built by a man named Charles Kluskey. And Charles Kluskey also actually built the governor's mansion in Georgia. So, I mean, I guess he was famous at the time for that kind of thing.
I shall feign excitement at that fact.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
really?
It's just, yeah.
The governor's mansion.
Yeah, you don't say.
I want to see some pictures of that thing.
Well, he received the contract to build the lighthouse in 1869, so that's when it, started. But it's an island in Georgia, and so obviously it's a little swampy, and it's real hot, and there's lots of fucking mosquitoes. Now, what do mosquitoes carry? Malaria.
I was going to say suitcases.
Stop.
Damn.
That wasn't even funny.
No, it wasn't funny at all. I don't know why you laughed at it.
I'm still laughing at it. Shit. No, they carried malaria. So
damn.
Malaria was
I was going to say handbags.
Malaria was a real big problem in that area when they were building the lighthouse. So there were lots of, deaths that were associated with it. And one specific death that was associated with it was Mr. Kluskey himself. So he died in 1871, probably from malaria, just 1 year before the lighthouse was completed. So, they finally completed the lighthouse, and they also completed a dwelling structure, like a house, I guess, for the lighthouse, a dwelling structure.
That's what we want built, is a dwelling structure with a big tub, big kitchen, and a dog shower.
Yeah, it had 2 stories. It was designed for the lighthouse keeper and an assistant to each have a floor, and they were connected by one like central staircase, but they were two separate living situations, right?
Okay.
So it was a one on top of the other
mother-in-law
duplex.
suite, kind of.
Kinda,
or like a duplex.
Yeah, but like two different levels instead of a side by side.
Okay.
So the lighthouse keeper, at the time of the incident that we're about to talk about that caused the ghosty ghost that we're also about to talk about, happened in around 1880. And the main lighthouse keeper's name was Frederick Osborne. So he had the bottom level of the dwelling structure, the house.
Can you, just say a house. Fucking shit, Leah. What are you?
Sorry.
Good God.
He had the bottom floor, and he shared that bottom floor with his family, obviously. And he also had an assistant, and his assistant's name was John Stevens, and John Stevens' family lived on the top floor of the house. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And he also lived there with his own family. Mm-hmm. And it was their job to keep the lighthouse going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's all the time job to keep that shifts? Light going. So ships don't, hit into the island. But
they did shifts, though?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They rotated. And so everything, was going pretty good until Osborne made, quote, an inappropriate, or spoke in an inappropriate manner.
Oh, I was going to say tweet. He's put out an inappropriate tweet.
No. Slightly before Twitter, but good guess. No, he basically made a pass at his assistant's wife. Was very inappropriate to her.
Oh.
And so John Stevens did not take very kindly to this. Don't blame him. And so they started arguing, and the argument escalated, and John Stevens took out his gun and shot Osborne. just
this
shot
got
him,
worse.
Killed him there. Yep. It escalated quickly.
Man.
And so Osborne died of his wounds, and they immediately arrested Mr. Stevens.
I was hoping for a happy ghost story, Leah.
Nope. None of the stories for today are happy. Sorry about it. So the man, Mr. Stevens, was arrested and charged with murder. But after the jury heard the circumstances of what caused him to shoot the other guy in the head, they were like, of course he shouldn't have been talking about your wife that way. And so he was acquitted on all charges.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So he got off just killing his boss, no problem.
I think I could get away with that. People trash talk you. I'm like, come on now.
Baby, just let him trash talk me. I'm trash anyway. It's fine.
But, all I have to do is go to court and just kind of like put my shoulders up and go, come on now. It's my wife. Right? But no, I'd probably just like laugh about it and trash up with you. Be like, yeah, she does suck, right? Am I right? And then it's like, I would look to you and I'd be like, no, I'm just joking. I'm just trying to diffuse the situation.
Rude. You have to defend me, but you don't have to shoot anybody, okay?
Yeah. I don't have to defend you.
Unless I'm being like a super trash bitch, in which case you can just be like, yeah, she kind of sucks.
I think we talked about on this show before, I don't understand the idea of the word loyalty. I don't get it. If you suck, I'm going to say that you suck, and then we're going to move on from it. If you're being a cunt, Leah, somebody's going to be like, hey, your wife's being a cunt. I'm going to be like, yeah, she's a little cunty sometimes. And then we're going to leave. We're going to go home, and on the way home, we're going to talk about your cunty behavior. And then everything will be fine.
Mitchell, of the two of us being out places, who has ever exhibited more cunty behavior? You
Absolutely
or
me, but we're not talking about me right now. We're talking about your likelihood for being a cunt.
It is a lot lower than yours. That's all Leah, I'm saying.
I enjoy the booze.
We're aware.
Sometimes things happen on the booze.
Sometimes you vomit in our friends' cars. What are you going to do?
Hey, that wasn't cunty. That was just after a live recording, which I've apologized for profusely to literally everyone.
They don't have that car anymore. It's fine. That's some stranger's problem now.
Oh, somebody else has Tallulah Brewing Company's beer all over their backseat?
Yeah, they sold that car a while ago.
Again, if anyone from Tallulah is listening, very much apologize.
It was very
But I had a
clear.
great time.
Thank you.
I had an awesome night.
Oh, bless it.
Followed by a pretty bad early morning.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Anyway, so the guy was acquitted for all charges.
Again, that wasn't cunty. I want to go back to that. That was not cunty.
Oh my God. Can we keep going?
Moving on.
Anyway, so after all of that was settled, the reports of a ghost at St. Simon's Lighthouse started becoming pretty frequent.
Yeah.
One of the main stories that comes from the lighthouse is one of a former lighthouse. Well, former from now, but after the murdery thing happened, obviously they had to find new lighthouse keepers. And one of the wives of the lighthouse keeper that was employed after this murder was keeping the lighthouse for her husband because he was away on business of some sort. Mm-hmm. And they were having a real hard time getting the mechanism functioning again. It had stopped and jammed up for some reason. And she was just really irritated and cussing and just annoyed. And she was like, oh my God, someone come fix this shit, just losing her mind and annoyed. And she heard something behind her. And she looked up and she saw this man sort of bending over the works, I guess. I don't know, the internal thing that makes it go spinny. I don't.
Yep, that is the name.
I'm going to call it the mechanism. But he was...
Leah gets under the hood of the car and goes, this is the thing that makes it go vroom vroom.
You asshole. I know more about engines than you do.
You know way more about cars than I do. I don't know shit about cars. But I also didn't say the thing that goes spinny.
I don't know enough about lighthouses to be educated in this particular area.
Pretty sure it's just gears, right?
Anyway, we're going to call it the mechanism. So she was having issues with the mechanism, and she cursed and said, someone come fix this shit. Oh. And it turns out that a ghostly figure of a man appears and is, messing with the spinny mechanism. And she sees the guy and freaks out and faints. And when she wakes back up, she hears it whirring again like normal, and everything was right with the light again. And she was like, well, damn, he came and fixed it. That's great. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people also say that they believe that Osborne doesn't realize he's dead because it happened so quickly, and they believe that he never stopped inspecting the lighthouse every night. So a lot of people say that in that lighthouse you can see him going up and down the spiral staircase, checking the lights. They say that you can hear his footsteps going down the spiral staircase at night. They say that you can see him walking around the area, just generally being a haunt, because he got shot there. So that is the haunting of the St. Simon's Lighthouse. And you could actually go visit it today. I don't believe it's still a functioning lighthouse. It's a museum. And it's open, to the general public. So if you want to go and explore some spooky lighthouse, you're welcome to.
Do they do tours?
They do. StSimonsLighthouse.org if you're interested.
So where is this island? Obviously off the eastern coast, but north? Anywhere up there?
It's in a group of islands called the Golden Isles. I don't really know. Well, it's over there somewhere.
I was just trying to think, because we went to Savannah a couple years ago, and I was trying to think, maybe it's over that way. Maybe we can go back to Savannah and go over there, but I don't know where it is, so...
Hold on, and I'll tell you real fast.
The suspense is killing me.
It's a okay, so
it's so
down.
South.
It's south.
Okay. Southeast Georgia, everyone.
Yeah, it's a barrier island, so obviously it would be east, but
right,
it is towards the southern part and off there. Yeah.
Okay, well that's where we're going our next trip.
Probably not, to be fair.
I mean, there's probably some other stuff to do around there, right?
I've been told cheesecation was a possibility, and so Leah loves lactose needs to happen.
Anything's a possibility. Likelihood of it happening, though. We can drive to Wisconsin. It's going to take a while, but we can do it. Anyway. Are we going to the second story? Are you waiting for me?
I was waiting for you to transition me to ask me My
All
sweet
right.
love, do you have another story for us this evening? And I would be like,
My cunty love.
hey, too far, sir. Too far.
That was my bad.
No.
It was funny, though.
All right, so you know how we've got this hurricane situation in the Gulf right now?
Y'all, right now there are 2 hurricanes that are like tap dancing with each other.
Yeah, it's Marco and Laura, and followed closely by Nana, still out in the the Atlantic. Excuse me.
Nana. Well, see,
Old
I
Nana.
told Leah the other day that all the tropical storms are named before the year.
Yeah.
Like they say, this is what we're going to have all year. And Marco's coming right now, and I said, "What if P is polo?" And Leah goes, "Ooh, what if it is? That'd be fun." And I was like, "We could just look it up," but neither one of us did. So I don't know what P is going to be, but it'd be awesome if there was Marco and polo in the same year. Has there already been a polo though?
I don't think so.
Because they only name them once, you know that.
Yeah, you only use the name once. But anyway, it's Marco and Laura right now, and they are heading in, having a great time. Laura is on our side, and Marco is headed towards Texas. But we are going to be talking about a hurricane, a very, very devastating hurricane that hit
Opal?
Galveston.
Oh.
What?
I thought we were going to talk about Opal.
It's before they started naming the storms. So this is the Great Storm of 1900, and it is the most horrific hurricane, death toll wise, that has
Really?
ever hit the United States.
Really?
Yep.
Well, that's fun.
And so we are going to be talking about. So it is Galveston, Texas. Galveston is an island, and we are going to be talking about one specific story within the story, because I would like to hit a few more different stories that are tangentially related to this particular storm as well.
I guess I have time for that.
I'm not doing that right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to save
You
that
mean-
for other episodes.
You mean to use them for other shows? I see.
So I'm just talking about one specific story within the greater story of this.
We've reached the
story.
hurricane phase of Southern Spirits. It's also
Y'all,
coinciding with the Kentucky
there
phase.
are lots of hurricane stories.
Yeah.
But
Can I tell Opal when we get some time? I grew up in Montgomery, Alabama. Hurricane Opal was fucking devastating.
the only one that got far enough north to really freak us out, like we had a lot of flooding here, was Katrina was bad, obviously. And then there was, damn it, I don't remember. It was when I was in 10th grade. It was something. And I remember one of the girls in our class had that same name, and everybody was making fun of her because she was the hurricane. And I don't fucking remember what it was called. But anyway, we got out of school for that one because it was like raining so hard that it was sideways, and it was like garbage cans were in the wind, you know.
I remember what you're talking about, but I do not remember the storm name. I do remember Katrina. We didn't have power for 5 days, I think.
Yeah, Katrina
like a week
was pretty
in
rough.
Montgomery, Alabama, central
Yeah.
Alabama.
Yeah.
South Central. But anyway, I would love to tell you about Opal at some point.
I would like to hear about it. I've never heard your hurricane story.
I don't honestly remember it because I was real young, but I know that it was devastating. Old Hurricane Opal. I think that was the same year as the blizzard in April. Is that right? 93?
That was 94, right? The blizzard was
93, 94. We had a blizzard in Alabama that we got a foot or two of snow in late April, early May.
Yeah,
And it
there are
was
very
fucked
adorable
up.
pictures of me making a snowman with my aunt and uncle.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough about our bullshit. Go ahead with your hurricane story.
All right. Well, we are going to be talking about St. Mary's Orphanage and what happened to it during the storm. And when I say it isn't pleasant, it's not pleasant. It is an orphanage. So if mass death of children or nuns bothers you, click away. We had a great time talking about that first story.
Jesus Christ, Leah.
Yeah. But if you're still here, welcome.
You can give people any time to listen. So if this fucks you up, we'll see you later. Anyway, let's talk about the fucked up part.
Well, I mean, that's basically, sorry. So this was one of the most devastating storms in the United States history. Just point blank, one of the greatest losses of life in a natural disaster that has happened. And the exact number of people that died isn't exactly known or counted because it was just such pandemonium after it happened. The range is from 6,000 to 12,000 people that were killed in the single event.
Fucking shit. What?
Most people give it around 8,000 as sort of like the best guess estimate, people that died directly from the storm. But of course, people died in situations tangentially related to the storm after it as well. So the exact number of people that died because of the storm is not known, but they say about 1 in 6 people that lived in Galveston at the time died.
1 in 6?
1 in 6, yeah.
Fuck you.
So
that's way worse than being decimated.
Yeah, it's real bad.
You know, we found out about that. Like, not too long ago, I found out that the word decimation does not just mean, you know, that you were
killing everybody. It's 1 in 10. I learned that in my
means,
Latin class when we were talking about prefixes. But
like when you hear that a population was decimated by, I don't know, COVID-19, it means that 10% or more were taken out. So decimation sounds like a really bad word. And when you're talking about people, like, you know, 10% is a really big number. But in retrospect of anything, 10% is small, right?
Well, I mean, decimation was literally if you captured like an army of other people, they would kill every 10th man. They would line them up and literally kill every 10th man.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Yep.
But I knew it was 10%.
Yeah, no, they would like that was a thing that, you know, the Roman legion would do if they captured thieves on the road or whatever kind of, you know, thing that they happened to be capturing. One of the punishments that they could enact is decimation, and they would line them up in a row and they'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, kill him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, he's dead. Decimation.
That's fun.
Latin. The more you know. I learned a lot of shit in Latin class, y'all. People made fun of me for taking it, but I had a great time.
It's amazing how you can't use it like period for anything except for interesting facts. Look at there.
And that is my wheelhouse, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, your bullshit facts. We talked about that last week. Anyway.
I don't know anything about anything practical, but if you need like etymology
if you
or
need to
just
know
like
what a beehole is called.
I'm your girl.
God, playing Trivial Pursuit with Leah really is a goddamn nightmare. It really is, because it's like, you could ask Leah anything, and she's like, oh, I know that because of something that happened in Latin. Stop. We got to stop. Go to the story.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. Let's continue. All right. So the storm happened on September the 8th of 1900. And so in that time period, in the early, 1900, Galveston had a population of about 37,000 people. It was the 4th largest city in Texas. It was very opulent, wealthy. It was a shipping port and, having a great time. Except, unfortunately, there was also a pretty big problem with yellow fever at the time. And that was the case all over the place, but specifically there they had a pretty bad case of yellow fever.
I don't know if y'all could hear that, but our dog was fucking heaving something up. He didn't throw up, but anyway.
I think he likes to chew a rawhide toy, and I think it caught him in the back of the throat, and he was like, I
don't even know if that picked up, but just in case, I want to clarify. It's not your electronics that are the problem.
It's our dog. There's
trash. A vomiting dog here.
He's not vomiting.
He's fine. Oh, there he goes again.
Oh, bless his heart.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so gross. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, no. Yellow fever. Anyway, so yellow fever had actually gone through Galveston. It had been pretty bad for a while. And it left a lot of orphans in its wake, like a lot of, bad disease outbreaks will. And so it was pretty rough at the time. And so they had a lot of ailing people, and they also had a lot of orphans. Oh
God. Excuse me.
So a Catholic charity organization was sent in by one of their bishops. So it was I've got a hair in my face.
Gross, Leah. Come on.
Sorry. It touched my nose and I went, ugh. I I can't stand the feeling of like a baby hair touching my face. It makes me uncomfortable. Anyway.
God, don't have baby heads so close to your face.
It's not the same.
Weirdo.
Anyway, so they...
Where'd you get that baby head anyway? I've never seen that before.
It's just it's stuck to the microphone, that's why.
Do I need to call the police?
It wasn't in my head. It was just stuck in the microphone.
Why do you have a disembodied baby head in the house?
It was a cat hair.
No, it's Leah's microphone cover. It's just a baby head over the microphone.
It's literally just a normal poof. You know, the little microphone poofs.
Yeah, it's a normal poof, which is...
You are derailing me, sir. I'm trying to tell you about these nuns.
I almost said something super offensive.
Yeah, well.
I'm glad I didn't.
Thanks. So, this orphan asylum was opened up called St. Mary's Orphans Asylum, as well as St. Mary's Infirmary, run by the same order of nuns. They were the Sisters of Charity, and like I said, they got sent in. They built these two areas, you know, one was in town, so the infirmary, the hospital was like in the downtown area, and the orphan asylum was in like an older property that they had purchased. It was beachfront property. It was a former estate of like a Captain Green. I don't know who that is. I'm sure they're like famous in Galveston, but you know, I don't know who they are. And so anyway, they ended up setting up this, you know, orphan asylum on the beachfront property there in Galveston, but it was far enough away from town that the threat of yellow fever wasn't that bad, so you know, they could sort of exist without being scared that all of the children are going to get it, you know what I mean? So they had 2 dormitories, one for the girls, one for the boys, and they had like a communal like dining area situation.
Okay.
You know, it was a nice area. They were taking care of 93 children, and 10 nuns were in charge of all of that. And so everything seemed to be going great. I mean, obviously the yellow fever and the kids losing their parents was not great, but you know, they were making the most out of the situation that they had, and they were just sort of making it, doing what they could, just hanging out, you know. But then, obviously, in September of 1900, a storm starts a-blowing in.
Oh, no.
And, you know, this is being able to Doppler radar track hurricanes and know when they're going to come and knowing when to evacuate and all of that stuff. So, really, they didn't have hardly any foresight knowing when this was going to hit. So on September the 8th, Galveston obviously got hit by a very, very, very powerful hurricane, and it basically swept away, I think it was like 3,600 buildings, like were completely demolished, like no longer lifted up off of their foundations. Like it was absolute total devastation.
Oh God.
And so it hit, obviously, the St. Mary's Orphanage pretty bad because it was a beachfront property. And it was pretty devastating. So during the afternoon, like, they knew it was a hurricane at this point, I'm sure, but I don't think they understood how devastating the storm was going to become. So during the afternoon, the winds and the rains kept picking up to the point where the tide starts coming in higher and higher, and the floodwaters start getting into these residential areas. And the St. Mary's Orphanage had, you know, the 2 large dormitory buildings just off the beach, and it was sort of behind like a bunch of sand dunes. And one of the kids that ended up surviving this whole ordeal said that the sand was just immediately eroding away, just like they had, like the sand dunes were just flour just being scooped off, you know, a counter. It just sort of went away.
I'm so uncomfortable.
And these floodwaters just started rising, and the floodwaters reached the dormitories pretty early in the night. So the nuns evacuated all the children into the newer of the 2 dormitories, which was the girls' dormitories, and they put them on the top floor. and they put him in the chapel, and they were trying to calm the kids down, and they had them sing a song called Queen of the Waves, which is like an old fishing hymn kind of.
Oh no, that's
thing.
their haunting song, isn't it? It's going to be their haunting song.
No, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But the Queen of the Waves is just a hymn, and it talks about how Mother Mary is, Queen of the Waves, and she can...
Let it be.
Not quite. But anyway, so they're singing this song, and the waters continue to rise, and it's bad. It's very bad. They realize that things are just a problem at this point, and they're worried about the water rising and blowing, like floating the children off, you know what I mean, in the rushing waters. So the sisters get a bunch of clothesline, like rope, and they each take a few kids, and they tie several kids together, and then they tie that line of kids to their belts.
I don't like any of this.
And it's going to keep these kids from washing away in the storm, basically. And so each nun has like a string of kids, and some of the kids are too young to, be tied up. Some of them are infants. So one woman, one of the nuns had 2 children in their hands, and one of the survivors said that she promised not to let go of the kids. And obviously after everything was over, they found her body still holding on to these 2 children.
No, thank you.
And so by 6:00 that night, the wind was gusting over 100 miles an hour. The waters had completely flooded the entire city. Residents were on second stories, in attics, rooftops. Basically, anybody that went outside got hit by flying debris. It was an absolute mess. So then the main tidal surge kind of hit at 7:30, and all of the beachfront houses were lifted off their foundation and were kind of sent slamming into other houses that were further inland, and houses on houses fell on houses. And like at the infirmary that was run by the same group of nuns in town, the floodwaters filled the first floor, and they moved people up to the second floor, and they were just grabbing people out of the surf as they passed by. They were like fishing people out of the surf from the balcony. And so they kept a lot of people in there, and the hospital did not end up falling down, so they saved a lot of people doing it that way.
Wow.
But it was really rough. But back at the orphanage, the sisters had the clotheslines, they had the children all tied to their belts. Everybody had a bunch of kids trying to get these people through the storm. But unfortunately, being as close to the beach as they were, the dormitory ended up being lifted from the foundation, and the bottom fell out from underneath them, and everything fell on top of him, and they crushed him to death.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So only 3 of the 93 children that were in the care of these nuns survived the storm, and they survived because they got washed away, and they all ended up waking up on one tree together in the water after the storm was over.
One tree?
One tree.
That was the safety tree?
Yep.
Good God.
And all of the nuns, all 10 of them, perished trying to take care of those kids. And yeah, those 3 kids that were found on the tree had been floating for over a day before they were found by anybody. And they eventually made their way to, the infirmary where they could tell what happened that night and what all was going on. And they did end up excavating what happened and finding bodies, and they found the nuns tied up with the clothesline to all of these children.
Jesus.
And
I fully expected you to say that one or more of those houses got washed out to sea. Like
all
picked
of the
them up
debris,
and then they just took it out with them.
All of the debris ended up piling up, basically kind of creating a wall around sort of the inner part of the city. It was very bad. And so, yeah, I just a great wall of debris wrapped around that entire eastern end of the city. And it was just destroyed everything. There were furniture pieces, cats, dogs, pots, pans, sofas,
Cats
and
dogs?
lots of dead people.
What the hell?
You don't think that the pets, I mean, of course.
We've talked about it before. I don't care too much for people, but when the pets get hurt, that's when I start to have a problem.
But there was complete and total devastation. Yeah. Obviously, pets were going to be a part of that.
I was hoping all the pets survived.
I'm sorry.
My fingers were crossed.
But anyway, it got so bad when they were looking for bodies and stuff like that they absolutely ran out of places to bury anybody. They ran out of conventional burial places. So some people took their dead and tried to bury them at sea, but the sea kept washing them back up on shore. They made funeral pyres and they tried to burn a lot of their dead. They had issues doing that. So at one point, the city was just like, bury them wherever. And still today in Galveston, in new construction, they'll still find unmarked graves from that storm all over the place just because so many people died and they were buried wherever there was ground. And so they still have lots of issues with finding unmarked graves when they do construction.
First of all, I didn't know Galveston was an island. I thought that it was just on the eastern seaboard of Texas. I did not know that it was a standalone thing. Which I know it's probably not it's not just an island that's one city, right? Are you looking it up right now? Is that why you're being silent?
I was going to show you a map.
Okay. But anyway, I didn't know that. I thought that Galveston was... I didn't even know Texas had islands. I really didn't. But what I was going to say was, if you say 8,000 people died and they said just fucking dig a hole and bury them, yeah, that's going to happen constantly whenever they put up something. You still looking at it? So
this is Galveston.
Okay.
It's like a long, thin barrier island.
Yeah, kind of like Florida has that little piece on it. Same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, goddamn, I didn't know that. Is that whole thing Galveston?
Yep.
The whole phalange piece?
Well, Galveston County is bigger than that, but the actual Galveston Island is obviously an island.
I did not know that. I had no idea. Galveston
County, like I said, is bigger, and there's chunks of mainland and another piece of sort of another isthmus that's coming off from the right.
Isthmus, that was the word, not phalange. That's what I was looking for.
Isthmus. No. Anyway. Bless your heart. You're super cute. But the city Galveston is on the island, as far as I know. And then there's Galveston Bay, which is, the bay right beyond it. But anyway, I would love to go to Galveston just because some of the architecture is stunning and it seems to be a very interesting place. But anyway, what was I talking about before?
You were talking about the bodies being found on construction.
Yeah, the bodies get found everywhere, and it's super creepy.
Yeah.
But anyway, about that song, The Queen of the Waves, that we were talking about before.
Here we go.
No, it's not something haunting that you hear or anything like that. It's just something that became really important to that particular order of nuns. They're the Sisters of Charity of the Incarnate Word. And so every year on September the 8th, they have ceremonies where they all sing this song together to remind them of all of the women and the children that lost their lives. And they sing it in all of their...
Remember the 8th of September.
No. No. But yeah, so they do the whole, they sing it together on that day wherever they are, because the Sisters of Charity have a bunch of different institutions all over the world doing different service work. But like I said, on the 8th of September, they supposedly sing this song all together, and it's a really long song, so I'm not going to sing it and or say it for you because nobody wants to hear that. But it's a pretty song. You can look the lyrics up if you care to. So
I'm fine.
Yeah. On September the 8th of 1994, they put a Texas historical marker where the orphanage used to be, and actually descendants of two of the survivors were there to christen the sign, I guess. And they, as part of the ceremony, they did sing that song, Queen of the Waves. Yeah, a little spooky. And to this day, a lot of Galvestonians say that there is a spirit of one of those nuns that walk the shore before hurricanes show up.
Every night She walks the beaches of Galveston.
Not quite the same thing.
Any other Garth Brooks fans out there? Let us know.
That is actually my favorite Garth Brooks song, but
it's a good song.
Love that song. Anyway,
it's the beaches of Cheyenne,
yes.
y'all, in case you don't know.
It's quite good.
Wyoming is on a ocean, by the way?
It's not. You've got to listen to the lyrics. Anyway, we'll talk about it later. I was also confused as a child, but someone had to explain it to me.
Is it a lake?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Anyway.
Fuck it. Moving on.
So, God damn it, Mitchell. But yeah, so it's
Garth
kind
Brooks'
of like...
titties.
It's
God
true.
damn it.
But it's kind of like the Ghost of the Gray Man in South Carolina. It's that we've talked about that story before, but it's one of those sort of spirits that people see before hurricanes that warn you of impending doom. So I don't know. Maybe that nun. Maybe that nun will be out there before Marco hits and let people know that he's a coming.
Well, I mean, they also have meteorologists, though.
Yeah, I mean, meteorologists and
we have
ghost nuns.
Past it, but I will say that I'm starting to believe meteorologists are part of the deep state, and that hurricanes are just a fucking liberal hoax.
It might be. Who knows?
I'm almost positive, Leah, that we are just being lied to by the media about hurricanes.
Most likely.
They aren't a problem. They aren't scary. Hydroxychloroquine clears it right up.
So shot in the dark.
Oh, yeah. I forgot we haven't done that yet.
We're not done yet.
All right.
What currently stands in the location where the orphanage used to be?
Oh, a nun singing Garth Brooks hits.
No. Is it A, Target, B, a Walmart, or C, a Publix?
Oh, God, that's a good one. I'm going to have to say Target.
You're wrong. It's a Walmart.
Damn. I was really hoping that it was Target, and then I could make a very poor taste joke about being the target of hurricanes or something.
Now, it is a pretty big, area that the orphanage had, the whole piece of property. So I believe part of that property is also where the Hotel Galvez is right now, which is another haunted place that's got its own story on its own. We'll talk about that, some other time.
That's exciting.
It's a really interesting little hotel that I would love to stay at. It's very expensive, so probably not going to happen, but
that whiskey is so good, by the way.
I'm glad.
It's really nice.
But right now, in the location across from where that historical marker is in fact what they call the Seawall Walmart.
Oh, God.
Because it's the Walmart next to the seawall.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So
Never
anyway,
put that together.
The reason I'm saying this is because they say that Walmart's really haunted.
Yeah.
It's a haunted Walmart.
Yeah.
They
I'm sure
say,
that's a thing.
Yeah. So the employees at that Walmart have reported that they'll, especially in the toy area, a lot of merchandise gets messed up and misplaced and moved, and pallets go missing. They also hear children's laughter late at night when there aren't anybody in the store. They say that they'll hear a child crying out for their parent, and they can't find the child, and they've locked down the store before looking for a child that they hear but they can't find.
I was going to say they probably called out a Code Adam. I worked in retail.
Yeah, so did I. That
Code Adam means close fucking everything off and everybody stand by the doors.
Oh yeah, we only ever had one of those when I was working retail, and it was scary as shit. And that kid had just gotten up in a clothes rack and had taken a nap.
Yeah.
That was a nightmare. Bless his heart. We're glad that nobody got kidnapped, but
One
anyway.
happened for me too, but it was something similar. It was the kid was in the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but they, like I said, have had issues with that and saying that this particular Walmart's pretty haunted. And, I don't know, haunted Walmart seems a little weird, but, haunted Walmart, man.
I think all Walmarts are haunted by low wages and poor esteem.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. If you've ever been in a Walmart, you know what I'm talking about. And, a select few that have been in Walmarts. I mean, what the fuck was I talking about? If you've ever been in a Walmart, fucking A, asshole. Wasn't Walmart started in Texas, though?
No, it's an Arkansas company.
Okay. I was confusing my things. Anyway, that's it. That's all I was contributing. Continue.
That was everything.
Oh.
Haunted Walmart. We're going out with the haunted Walmart.
Well, fucking haunted Walmart. Do you have a story about the haunted Walmart?
That was the story about the haunted Walmart.
That was it. Just occasionally they hear something.
They hear shit, and that's it. Haunted Walmart.
They hear swirling winds from the hurricane, but it's just an employee falling asleep on the fucking PA system because it's goddamn Walmart. Look, I just came up with that right now, and I think it was fucking hilarious.
You are a comedy genius, sir.
Oh, man.
Would you
What
like a
day.
toast?
Oh, yeah. Let's do a toast.
All right. Everybody hoist your goblets high into the sky. Let's make a good old toast.
All right.
Don't ever make a pass at your assistant's wife. He won't take it kindly and just might end your life. If you see a ghostly nun just strolling on the sand, evacuate that island, make your way inland. Drink.
I was hoping you were going to rhyme Cheyenne. Because I want you to tell me about why Garth Brooks talked about beaches of Cheyenne, Wyoming, which Wyoming doesn't have a coast. But I'm sure they have lakes and rivers and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's got to be that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
We're talking about it later. Shit. I didn't mean later on the show.
I want it later on the show.
Well, I don't.
All right, Midweek Minis, Garth Brooks in depth. Coming up.
I would so do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We watched one episode of his biography series on Netflix, and I looked at Leah, because we've watched a recording of his show from Vegas from years and years ago, when it was just him on stage in Vegas. And I got a certain feeling of him then, but then we watched that biography, watched one episode of it, and the guy, I looked at Leah and said, the guy never stops performing. He's never just a normal person, which might be ingrained in his fucking DNA at this point. But no matter who he's talking to, what he's doing, he's always putting on a show of some sort. There's something super meaningful in every word that he says. And I don't know that I want to do an in-depth on Garth Brooks, because I don't think we're going to find much, Leah. That's what I'm telling you. I think he's fairly shallow.
I've got the lyrics up for Beaches of Cheyenne. Can I explain it for you?
I mean, if you want to, go ahead.
Okay, so it's basically saying that he's up in Wyoming, but she's still living in California where they were living together.
Right.
And she died right there beside him in Cheyenne when he got kicked off the bull.
Oh.
But they say she just went crazy calling out his name. Yeah. She went out into the water, so she's in California.
Calling out his name.
And she drowns herself in the ocean in California, but she's... Every night she walks the beaches of Cheyenne because she's in her mind she died with him.
Right.
So it's the beaches in California, but in her heart she's in Wyoming.
That's fucked up. That's stupid. That's real fucking stupid.
It's a beautiful song.
Look, I also saw an excellent show way back when. There was a channel called Turner South growing up. Yeah. That I don't think is a channel anymore. It might be, but I don't think it is.
I think they made that. They merged with like the CMT channels,
yeah,
right?
But so there was all the Turner channels. There's TBS and everything else, but Turner South, like they would play a lot of Braves games and stuff, but they had this show called Live at the Bluebird Cafe.
They still play that.
Yeah, and there was one that was just Garth Brooks'
I think CMT
songwriters.
Has it.
Yeah, CMT does. So it's just Garth Brooks songwriters. And because Garth Brooks wrote a bunch of his stuff early, but not everything. Like he had a lot of like producers, basically. He had a bunch of contributors.
Well, I mean, he also wrote a lot of songs with other people,
right,
or arranged songs that other people had written.
Right. So people were there, and it was like 7 or 8 people. Yeah. I don't think it was that many, but it was a lot of people who all played these songs together, and it was fucking excellent.
Yeah. I love the Bluebird Cafe. It's a lot of people that wrote famous songs that you don't know who they are, but they wrote them.
That's actually how I discovered Keith Urban, because Keith Urban was on that in the early 2000s talking about his band The Ranch that he was on. And I was sitting there watching that, and I was like, Keith Urban's fucking awesome. And then, he went on to a lot more popularity after that. Anyway, there's a whole thing. There's a whole thing down here in the South, y'all. You wouldn't understand. Because you've never been in a Walmart, apparently. Leah, go ahead.
That's all I got.
Well, that's lame. You don't want to talk about Garth Brooks anymore?
Not particularly.
You're not a Garth Brooks fan?
I love Garth Brooks, but it's all I got.
All right. Well, I guess that's all that I got too then. What a note to end it on. Keith Urban is awesome. Garth Brooks sucks.
I don't really like Keith Urban. I'm sorry. His
that's
hair.
Just the note
I don't like his hair. Oh. I'm sorry. I know I'm weird, but he's got weird hair. Who's he married to?
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman. Yeah.
She had a Tom Cruise face, kind of like we're having a Kentucky face.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they moved on.
I had a Tom Cruise face. Not married to him, obviously, but...
You did?
Yeah. I was really into The Last Samurai, that movie that he made. I had it on Blu-ray. It was a whole thing. I was a weird kid. We've discussed.
No. We're coming to learn more and more that you were a perfectly normal child, Leah. That had interests. Right? Yeah.
Let's call it that, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank y'all so much for listening. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Send us an email to southernspiritspodcast@gmail.com. Join the Patreon, patreon.com/Southern Spirits Podcast. Let us buy some more Kentucky liquor. Listen to the other show in our network, Trailer Trashy. Send us a postcard, P.O. Box 1743, Hartselle, Alabama, 35640. Again, I will not spell that. It'll be in the show notes if you want to send it to us. And that's all that we've got, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to us, and we will see y'all next time.
Bye, y'all.